Andor Season 2 has now premiered the first 3 episodes of the show. I only watched the first 2 episodes, but I figured to review it anyways, so let's talk about it. As a point of reference, Season 1 for me when I first watched it, I was a huge fan of it. I did rewatch it though. I did like it a bit more. I don't love it like other people, but I did enjoy my time with it. With that said, let's review Season 2. Now first things first, it still feels like Season 1. It's pulling plot points and continuing storylines that were from Season 1 while still keeping the same tone that Season 1 had. It feels like a Season 2 to that show, because it is. It is a sequel to the show. And even after 3 years, it still has that touch of what Andor was. It still brings it over into here and carries it on into Season 2. And of course, the acting is as great as ever. Diego Luna, basically born to play the role of Andor, and everyone else in the show does great too. New characters are old. They know how to act, they know how to bring this character to life, and that's exactly what they're doing with each character. And we have to take a moment and just appreciate the set design in here. It's not really any green screen stuff, it's mostly practical stuff they have built, and you can definitely see that. It looks great. It looks like the Star Wars world you want to see, and it's nice to see it in Andor. Because everything looks real, it's not in front of a green screen, it's actually practical, and that's always a plus. And one of my problems with Season 1 is that it didn't really feel like Star Wars. This season feels a bit more like Star Wars. I will of course dive into this later on, but this season has a bit more of a Star Wars flavor to it than last season did. But these first 2 episodes are very much set up. Like I said, I've only seen the first 2 instead of the first 3, and just based on the first 2 episodes, it very much feels like setup. I'm curious to see what episode 3 will have to bring. I will watch that most likely tomorrow. Most of you guys watching this probably have seen episode 3 already, but just based on the first 2 episodes, it still feels like setup. It's either setting up the episode 3 or setting up the entire show. And like Season 1, I only like the Andor story. Now the other stories are still good, but they're not great. And the only time I'm fully invested in the story is when it's about Andor, is when Andor is on screen. Because the show is about him. He's the most intriguing part of this entire show. So every time he's on screen, it's the best part of the show. But when he's not on screen, I'm not a fan of what they're doing. I don't really like all these subplots that they're doing. I enjoy it, but it's not great, and it really brings down the show for me, especially since at these first 2 episodes, Andor wasn't really a part of it all that much. And by the end of episode 2, it just felt like that Andor story in these first 2 episodes wasn't really that important. He gets trapped and then leaves. What else is there? That's all in the first 2 episodes. It could be building up for something, but I haven't seen episode 3. I don't know, but based on the first 2 episodes, that's what it looked like was happening. So it just came off as pointless, but still the most interesting part of the story. And like Season 1, this season, you need your full attention on screen. It is very much non-stop talking, and if you miss one word, you're going to be lost. You won't understand the plot, so you have to be paying your full attention to the show. It's that type of show. Like Season 1. Season 2 still brings that. Which makes it not a bingeable show. It is a very slow season. Which is why I didn't watch all 3 episodes. It's not that bingeable. You can't really watch all 3 in one sitting because it's a very slow-paced show. It's a good slow-paced show, but after a while, it can be dragged out. So you only want to watch a certain amount of episodes each time so you're not bored. Storytelling is still great, it's just a slow show. And like I said before, it feels more like Star Wars than Season 1, but it doesn't really feel like Star Wars still. Star Wars is known for Jedi, Sith, all of that stuff. What do we have in Andor? A talking show. Like I mentioned before, a very slow-paced show. That's not really what Star Wars is. In the context of the show it works, so this is a little nitpick. But for the overall Star Wars universe, this just feels out of place. So Andor Season 2 is a good follow-up to Season 1. I'm liking all the setup in here. I'm liking Andor's storyline, but it's very much a slow show. It has my problems with season 1 still, and just feels like setup, with not much really happening right now in these first 2 episodes. I enjoyed my time with it, but I wanted to love it, and hopefully the rest of the show brings that, and based on the early reviews, it might. But I'll review the show at the end. Right now, my thoughts on the first 2 episodes are fine. Hopefully the show wins me over by the end. But anyways, if you liked this video, maybe leave those on the side on 62, like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.